Good morning guys, and welcome back to the second channel. So it's things like this that we're going to be putting in this channel. Very exciting, I know. This is our compressor shed. So we've got an old sort of standing compressor, and that is our new-ish compressor. Well, sort of probably a year and a half old now, 2 years old, something like that. So the tank fills up with moisture, and obviously it holds less compressed air. So there's just a little plug underneath which you have to go and turn on and empty all the air out. And inside the pipe work goes sort of up and outside here, and up through there in the building, and then the other side of that wall down the bottom here somewhere is a little sort of catch tank which we have to empty on a weekly basis. So yeah, this is our compressor shed. This is where we hold some of the scrap. Well, actually, we've had a good old clear out in here. Some of the scrap engines and cylinder heads and engine parts. We sort of sold most of it off, or took it up and weighed it in at one point. Bit of scaffold in there, which we're not allowed to use really, so a bit useless, but you never know. Well, thanks ever so much guys for subscribing and watching our second channel. Like I say, we're not going to really take much away from the main channel, to be honest. I think a lot of people thought, by looking at the comments, they thought that we were going to sort of take stuff out of the main channel and put into our second channel, but we're not really going to do that. It's just, you know, we're going to obviously do updates on the kit car and the track days and the BMW E30 like we did before, but we're not going to go too into depth with it and bore people that like watching the technical stuff really. So anything that we want to go on about, a bit like telling you about emptying the compressor, we just put in the second channel really. On the subject of E30, we are going to go and collect that later on today. So me and my wife are going to take a trip up in the Transit. So yeah, it's going to be the first time I've seen the E30 for quite some time. I'm quite looking forward to it, although it's still a sort of shell, if you like. It's had quite a lot of work done to it, so at least we can have a little look over in this video what we're dealing with, what Paul and Mikey have done to the shell. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing it, and sort of seeing what work is to be done yet on it really. So we'll head over there guys, and you can join me a little bit later on in the day when we're over at Radford, something like that, up near Bath I think it is. So once we pick the car up, we'll have a little look over it and see what the progress is. Well guys, unfortunately my wife and I did not go and get the kit car. It's the end of the day now, so what time is it? 5 o'clock, 5:05, and we haven't gone for two reasons. One, because the guy that owns the garage where it is, Trig, I sent him a message last night and I also sent him a message today, and there was no response. But I'm quite glad of that for another two reasons. One, because we're really, really busy here. I'll show you that in a minute. But secondly, because the weather is absolutely horrible. And one, I don't really want to tow our BMW back in this, because it'll probably rot away by the time we get back to Mikey's. And secondly, I don't really like driving. You know what I'm like, I don't like travelling much anyway, but I don't like driving in this weather, there's no point. So I've got a friend of mine going to pick it up Thursday now. So he's gonna deliver it back here to work about midday, and I shall be taking it to Mikey probably later on the same day. The reason I want him to bring it straight back here and not straight to Mikey is because I want to have a look at it. I want to do a video for you guys. So yeah, unfortunately guys, we're gonna have to wait till the end of the week before we see the E30. So but to be honest, I couldn't really look around it in this weather, it'd be horrible. So let's just wait till then, shall we? But in the meantime, the S50 motor. So it's actually quite nice doing videos rather than like on the main channel. I've got like a bit of a rhythm going with that, haven't I? And I sort of know what I can and can't talk about, but with this channel it's ideal. I can just yap on about this S50 and about the BMW, and whoever wants to watch can watch, but if they don't, never mind. But yeah, the S50 looking fairly grotty. So we were thinking about, I'll be honest with you, we were toying with the idea, now we've got all the ancillaries off, we were toying with the idea of cleaning this thing up and painting it and making it look nice and leaving it. The reason for that is because I know for a fact that this engine was running absolutely smoothly. Although it looks horrible, it was running really smoothly up until about 2 or 3 years ago when the guy took it out, put his V8 in his E30 and left it. He did have, shortly before that, he had the Vanos units sorted out, so we know that they're good. So it's one of them, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like Paul stated the other day, we're going to all the time and effort and what have you with this E30 and all the expense. At the end of the day, what do? We build engines. If we start going and doing track days, etc., and we end up with a smoky motor or an engine that goes, it ain't going to look great. So the one thing we probably should be doing on the whole car is the engine. So yeah, unfortunately, although I know this engine is pretty good, we're going to whip it apart. So what are we going to do? First of all, I'm going to take the sump off, get the crank out, we're going to balance it. Today I've had Isaac face up this flywheel. This is the flywheel off it. It's a lightened flywheel, a very light flywheel. I've drove an E30 with an S50 in it, with one of these flywheels, and it makes a hell of a difference. You BMW heads out there, you may say something different or what, but yeah, for me, it transformed the engine. So might put a new clutch plate in it, although that is fairly new apparently. Might put a new one of them in it and a new clutch cover, but the flywheel can go again. That's perfect. Got various bits here. You see down here, that's the throttle body assembly. Now look how nice that's come up in our Vapor Blaster. Obviously I've done it as a complete unit, so I'm gonna have to strip that, make sure it's very clean. We've got a box full of lovely looking bits in there. So yeah, looking really good, but I think it's about time we started getting in amongst this. So obviously once we've stripped it, we shall go through the cylinder head. I'm pretty certain that I might get this exhaust manifold ceramic coated, maybe. Going to paint the block, not sure whether to go black or the blue that we have done this Ford in. Looks very nice. Don't know whether it's going to clash with the orange though, so I'm going to leave you guys to comment down below on what you think what colour you should think I should paint the block. Obviously everything else is going to be nice and shiny silver, like factory. I shall probably keep some of the original bolts and stuff, send it all off and get it plated. Just make it look nice and stock and factory really. So it's same with the rocker cover. Blast that, give it a nice, probably a nice coat of maybe crackle black, something like that. Do the usual machine over the cover once we've painted that. But yeah, so the E30 guys coming on, getting a little bit excited now. I think the next stage for Mikey, by the sounds of it, is he's obviously going to put the front panel in, we're going to do the front end, then we're going to start doing some fitting up. Once, obviously he's got other stuff to do on it as well, but we're going to start doing some fitting up of everything and where we're going to put it. We're going to mount everything before it's painted and then take it to bits. So obviously we haven't got to start drilling holes, etc. once it's painted. So that was what Mikey suggested. That's what we're going to do. I think he wants me to go up shortly to get the seat in there, do a bit of a seat fitting, see where I want to sit and feel a bit comfortable. We're going to put a funky sort of one of those, I forget what they call them now, Summit Works short shifter. So you've got the high gear stick up here, looks fairly trick. He's going to put a hydraulic handbrake next to the steering wheel. Reason for that is one, you can just sort of hold it on. We're going to have a normal handbrake as well, but we're not going to start doing any drifting or handbrake turns, don't mark my words. But it's probably, he said it could be helpful if it starts to spin up or something on a corner, you can use the handbrake. I don't know, looks trick anyway, so we'll have one. So yeah, that's where we are with the E30 guys. let's just go and have a little look at the kit car. We'll give you a little rundown of that. I'm quite liking this. This is good. Not going on about any of this normal stuff for a change. It's brilliant. So the kit car, we have arranged another track day for the 4th of August at Castle Combe. We were hoping, maybe, if we can, to try and do a track day elsewhere, like Donington or something like that. But obviously, I'm just so busy at the minute. I don't want to go disappearing at weekends. My wife's got things organised at weekends, so I'm struggling to get away at the moment. In the meantime, before the 4th of August, but we definitely want to do sort of a couple more tracks like Donington Brand, something like that this year in the kit car. The only trouble is they're quite expensive. It's quite far away, and the kit car is a bit weather dependent, isn't it? So it's if we get like a dead spell of nice weather, then I should probably book something. But Castle Combe's on our doorstep, and until the E30 is done, I mean, next year, especially on this channel, you're going to love this, because we're going to start going. We want to do Nürburgring, we want to do Spa, want to do Monza, all the do some nice European tracks. We might have something else in the pipeline as well to go with, not coming out of the company funds, mind, but we may have something to go and do these track days with. I'm not going to tell you yet in case it don't happen, but yeah, so at the moment, guys, we're stuck with the kit car. There's worse things to be stuck with. We absolutely love the kit car, and as I said to you before, when we did that track day last at Castle Combe, it was about 28 degrees, and with these tyres here, you can see these tyres, look, they got proper warm, and these are what the saying is, shit to a blanket. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, really enjoyed it, and hopefully by the 4th of August we have some nice weather again. We are promised a bit of spell of nice weather, and some of you guys hopefully can come and see us again, because we kept the last one quiet, but yeah, we'd love you to come and see us. What we got to do before the 4th of August with this, we've got to pull the diff out. It is peeing out oil out of that front seal, so we have got to pull that out. We've got to get that sorted. We've got 2 or 3 weeks to do it, so not a big deal. We've got to dry it out. It's like a paddling pool in there. Look at that, it's been sitting outside today, poor thing. But apart from that, we had the bit of oil leak at the front of the engine, but we found out, I showed you that dodgy connector for the oil pressure and oil temperature senders, which I put on there. Didn't work, was never going to work. Don't know why I put it on really, but we've done away with that. At the minute, we're not running an oil temperature gauge, but to be honest with you, touch wood, fingers crossed, this engine seems a bit bulletproof, so we don't really need that at the minute. We've just got to find another location for it, but we seem to have stopped the oil leak anyway. But there we go, guys. Again, thanks ever so much for coming over to this channel and joining us. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified whenever we do a video, because of course on this one it's going to be an unknown time frame, so you'll need the notifications on. But yes, thank you very much, guys, for watching, and we'll be back in another one, whenever that may be. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.